Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 16 of your free real estate education here with our community real estate school. It's Monday, which means that we are discussing all of the things that they don't cover in real estate school. Last week it was open houses, door knocking, and cold calling. This week we're talking about modern technology. And so who better to have with us than the co-founder of Lab Coat Agents, Nick Baldwin. Nick is currently with Keller Williams. He has done a little bit of everything with Keller Williams. He is a thought leader in this industry, an all-around great and human being, awesome guy. And he's got a big, huge brain to go along with that big, huge heart. So I want him to, he's going to come on. I asked him if he'd teach you guys a little bit about modern technology, how he's utilizing it in his business, how he's coaching his team to do that in their business. So this is day 16 of real estate school. This is week 4, and so we're going to go ahead and jump right in without further ado. Nick Baldwin, welcome, my friend, to our community real estate school. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for having me. I'm excited. Oh, you forgot to mention that I wrote a foreword for this book called Zen Business by a guy named David Serpa, and this is the biggest accomplishment ever in my life right here. When someone asked me to write a foreword, I didn't know what to write. I mean, I did eventually, but if you don't have this, shameless plug, David Serpa's. This Eastman Live is weird. What direction am I going?
Yeah, everything's reversed, and it's so that we could go ahead and see everything straight, right? So that way when people are reading in real estate school, they get everything the right way. So yeah, that's in business, an Eastern approach to the Western business climate. And I got my top pick to write the introduction. I don't know, I'm bragging a little bit, but so Nick Baldwin, I reached out to him because there's not a lot of people out there that are, that have their heart still intact in this business. And so, and you do, my friend. And it's sometimes it drives us a little bit nuts being a couple of the only people that are really run heart-centered businesses. But you're managing to do it with LCA. You're managing to do it at KW, and I appreciate you for doing it, and so that everybody sees what it looks like.
Thanks, man. I just want to say a couple things because just a few things, just so you can get to know me a little bit better, all you guys out there. So Lab Coat Agents is the largest real estate Facebook group in social media. We have a total of about 200,000 members and followers on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm with Keller Williams for about 12 years. I've been in the business for 15 years. I've done everything. I've run a mega team in multiple states, Michigan and New Jersey. I live in Michigan now. I'm originally from New Jersey. I was a KW Market Center team leader, and I was regional technology director for Michigan, Northern Ohio. And I've also sold probably upwards of 1,000 houses personally. So I've been on the ground, I've been at brokerage, been at regional, and I just love doing different things in real estate and experimenting with lots of technology, because and you guys on this call, you're getting into this business at the best time when real estate technology is really kind of like turning a corner and making it so easy for you to be consistent with keeping in touch with people. Because that's one of the things they don't tell you in real estate school, David. They don't tell you how to run a business, how to generate opportunities. Like, they teach you how to not break the law, which is really important. But they don't teach you how to run a real estate business, which and this is what you're doing, right? So, I mean, that's why 87% of real estate agents fail in the first 5 years, because no one's teaching them how to run a business.
And unfortunately, we're in an industry that's not always collaborative. And that's one of the things why I really love Lab Coat Agents. I'm a big fan of what you and Tristan have built, because it's collaborative. Every single brokerage is in there. And so it's been a great place for me I like to experiment. I like to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And a lot of people, and this is myself included, I do not love tech. Believe it or not, I don't love technology. So you were pushing me into Clubhouse earlier. You said you got to get on Clubhouse. You got to get on Clubhouse. I didn't do it. Other people have come on, and like last week was get on Instagram. And so I resist technology. So I need somebody like you in my life, Mr. Baldwin.
Well, I tried, and you figured out Clubhouse pretty quickly. So I'm proud of you, my friend. I'm
I'm
proud
really
of you.
letting my hair down and like really getting crazy in Clubhouse. But it's a really great opportunity for people to generate business. And one of the things that I wanted to get to, Nick, is people look at real estate and they think, well, I'll start using tech later when I can afford it, or they get so bogged down in tech that they don't get out in the real world. And so there's sort of this healthy balance, right? And so where would you start with technology as a brand new agent?
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen if that's okay.
That would be great. Let me see if is there
I'm
a
going
way
to
to
click
do
the
that?
little
Can you
share
see me?
screen button. I think it'll work. Do you guys see
Look at
my?
that.
Oops, that's a little.
Okay,
Here
hold
it
up.
is.
Yes. Okay. I'm
Do
going
you
to
guys see
add this
this?
on right now. Look at that. This is a first right now. You're the first person to do it.
Uh-oh.
Leave it to the
Okay,
guy
so
teaching tech. You're up, sir.
yeah, so all right, cool. We're gonna this honestly, guys, like Facebook. I know Facebook. I know there's high school kids on this call, and I know Facebook's like the old fogey social network, right? It's not cool anymore. Um, but if you want to sell homes, you got to target people our age. You got to target the old folks, right, David? You got to target the 30 and 40 somethings
Those
if you
those
want to sell homes.
ancient millennials.
Right. I know. Facebook, and don't worry, you can also advertise on Instagram. Don't worry. But you're not going to reach the demographic that can buy a house on Instagram. That's why, it's best to use Facebook to start off with. And I want to show you guys, like, because of Lab Coat Agent, my co-founder Tristan and I, we've played around with a lot of different Facebook lead generation tools. Now, Facebook is a social platform, but it makes its money through people like you, marketers, real estate agents who are also marketers. It makes its money through ads. So you have to run ads. And I'm not going to get into how to do that because that's a whole other class. I'm just going to show you how much it costs and what ads can look like and how you can get someone on the phone and essentially convert someone through running these ads and following up consistently. So in different areas of the country, we've basically figured out, obviously these aren't set in stone. It depends on the time of day, it depends on the time of year, it depends on the month. But on average, you can generate a buyer lead or a seller lead on Facebook in Los Angeles for around $12. I would say between $12 and $20. In Michigan, where I am, $3. New Jersey, you get the idea. In different areas of the country, depending on how metropolitan it is and how rural it is, it tends to be more expensive. But think about it this way. That's very cheap. Even if it's $12, that's very, very cheap, considering your commission in Los Angeles or certain areas of California is going to be in the five figures, depending on the size of the home and the price of the home. And as you get out there, you're going to learn about other internet lead generation sources like Zillow and Realtor.com, where it could cost you upwards of $1,000 to generate one potential buyer lead when you could do that on Facebook. And if you're a new agent and you don't have a lot of money, this is why Facebook is one of your best bets. And I'll get into other ways as well, but these are three really good reasons why agents can build a better business and just build a business by generating opportunities on Facebook. The cost per lead, very low. I just showed you. Could be as low as $12, could be as low as $3. There is a longer nurture time, which means people who are looking for houses on Facebook tend to not be ready at that moment to buy a home. They might be a little further out, 6, 8, 12 months. And that's okay. You're generating a lead for a very low cost. They're not going to be, hey, let me see this house, let's write an offer, as much as a lead or someone from a platform like Zillow, right? So you're essentially paying for that. You're paying a lower price for someone who isn't ready yet, right? As opposed to paying a much higher price for someone who is. And at some point in your career, you're going to get to that point where you can afford to pay $500 to $1,000 to get in front of someone who is ready to buy a home. Because at that point, you'll have a fully fledged business, and paying $1,000 to get in front of somebody when your commission's 20,000 will make sense, right? But it doesn't at first. But the great thing about this is that longer nurture times lead to deeper relationships. And this is a relationship business. So there has been plenty of times where I have, come across someone on Facebook who clicks on my ad. I start talking to them. I start sending them listings. We're having conversations. Haven't even met them yet, but I'm keeping in touch. And then they refer me to a friend or a family member without even having done business with me. And that's because I am keeping in touch with them and they appreciate it. So this stuff can really build deeper relationships and lead to referrals and other business. Also, it's more scalable. So, what that means is it means grow. It means, can your business grow affordably? And yes, if you're getting opportunities on Facebook for people who want to buy and sell a home for $12, that is, you can grow on that because it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So for $100, you could get between, 10 and 20 opportunities, if not more, from $100 ad spend. And you can't really do that anywhere else on the internet at all. This is how this is how ads look on Facebook. And the reason why I say these are ads that are working now is because you guys are getting into real estate during a pandemic. So you're going to have to learn how to possibly sell homes through video or virtually or through
Nick
3D
Baldwin, I
tours.
love you so much. This is like I'm literally learning about the technology that I've been using all year. And what is this class 16? And this is the first time somebody shared their screen. You're so rad. And then to say you're going to be selling houses potentially during a pandemic, and this is how to do it. I'm proud to know you, my brother.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Well, it's true. Like, by the way, it's a blessing in disguise that you're going to sell houses during a pandemic. I got my real estate license in 2007, and you guys were too young to remember this. And if your parents are watching, they sure as heck do remember it. But I got into it in 2007. It was the beginning of the financial crisis, and I went from waiting tables making 20,000 a year to 2007, 2008 making, I think I made around 75 or 80,000 during a financial crisis in my first year in the business. And that's because, first of all, I had a mentor, my mother, who had been in the business for 20 years at that point. That's very important. Make sure you have a mentor who's been through this. So that year for me taught me basically how to do real estate in any market, whether it's financial or pandemic. So you're getting into a real estate market during a pandemic, and you're going to have to think outside the box. But to you, it's not going to be thinking outside the box. It's going to just be thinking. Right? It's just going to be doing it. And it will just become part of your arsenal going forward, and you'll never change. So you have to embrace video. And luckily, you guys are growing up in a video-centric world. And I'll give you some examples of video in a second. But people want to be able to look at homes from their phone or from their computer or from their iPad. And if you can film a nice video on your iPhone or get an inexpensive camcorder, you can create essentially a digital showing of a property. So behind these ads are videos, maybe on a website or on some sort of single property page that showcases a lot of information about the property. So video is something that you're going to want to embrace, because right now it's not about getting your buyer in the home. It's about getting your buyer who's really motivated and might possibly want to make an offer on that house in the home, and first showing them that home through video to see if they're actually really motivated to get in there physically. That's the world we're living in now. And Facebook recently did a study on members of the National Association of Realtors. It's only a couple of months old. That said that 40% of sellers with their homes on the market right now want an agent who uses video in their marketing to sell their home because of the pandemic. So that's very important to realize. Okay, so how are you going to capture leads on Facebook? Well, Facebook makes it very easy. They have what's called a Facebook lead ad, or a Facebook landing page, or whatever you want to call it. Because Facebook has all of your information, name, email, phone number, they know how old you are. They know where you live. They know how much money you make. They know whether you're in high school or college, or whether you have kids. They know how much your home is worth. They know everything about you. So as creepy as that sounds, leverage it to get business. When you're creating an ad on Facebook, they make it super simple to build a lead capture page that when somebody clicks on your ad, when someone clicks on this, they get a pop-up that automatically fills out their name, email, and phone number. And when they click submit, you get the info, they get to see whatever you're advertising. And that's how you're going to get contact information. They don't have to fill out a form. It's already there for them when they click on your ad. And that's why Facebook makes it so simple to get information on people who are on their platform. So this is something you're going to dig into when you create your Facebook business page and you start creating ads. You're going to use the Facebook Ads Manager to build out these landing pages. And by the way, you can go to YouTube and search how to make a Facebook lead ad, and there's going to be about a bajillion videos on how to do it. And you guys are already tech savvy because you've grown up around tech. And old fogies like me and David, we have to continuously practice this stuff. But you guys will get it. That's what's so great about the time that you're getting into this business, when technology is really hitting like a different level. All right, but I want to be very, very clear that just because you're generating business, let me back up. With Facebook, you're going to generate a lot of opportunity, and you're going to get a lot of silence on the other end, and you're going to get a lot of rejection. All right. But you should always go for no. Always go for no. And sometimes when it comes to real estate, when they say no, it's a lot like when you walk into a department store. Hi, sir, do you need some help? No, I'm just looking. And then 5 minutes later, actually, can you tell me but with real estate, it's no, I'm just looking. And then maybe in a month or so, if you keep following up, it's you know what, actually now I am ready. Because just looking is the first thing that comes to the mind of anyone who's asked for help by someone who they think they're being sold something from. But you should know that you have a lot of leverage in that. This data comes from the National Association of Realtors and Baylor University, and Baylor University actually has a real estate major. So they've studied a lot of this data. And 51% of text message leads don't get a response. 49% of email leads don't get a response. And if they do, it takes over 5.5 hours. 29% of phone call leads never get a call back. And it takes almost 2 hours if they actually do. Now, this stat is why you guys are going to be successful, because 78% of consumers will work with the first agent that contacts them. And the reason is because of the first three stats. If no one's texting them back or emailing them or calling them, the fact that you did means you're hired. Chances are the person who requests information on a property has done it before, and they are used to not getting called back. So when they do, they're kind of like, what? David, how many times have you done that? And they're like, what? You were so quick.
I think this is incredible, honestly. We talked, we'll jump right back into this presentation. Where You've dropped so many great knowledge bombs. It happened all the time. I would talk to somebody and they would say, no, you know what? You're the first agent that called me back. And I've been looking for houses for 2 years. And so, like, I tell people all the time, I opened 7 escrows on my second month in real estate, and 5 of those were from open houses. And it's because of the fact that nobody is calling them back. So if you call back, they're going. You know, there's a really good chance that you're going to become successful. 78% of consumers work with the first agent who contacts them. Boom. And then I love what you said about the department store analogy. Everyone's just looking, until it comes when they feel like they're being sold something. Um, Nick Baldwin, this has been the best so far. I'm going to pop right off and let you keep going.
All right,
Absolutely
cool.
awesome.
Thanks. Well, the thing is with just looking, by the way, with real estate, there's a lot of, hey, David, can you mute yourself? Because I'm hearing the feedback.
Yep.
All right, cool. With real estate, and I'll get into this a little bit later, but not too much, because a lot of it's like about scripts and dialogues, but not like robotic scripts and dialogues. Like everything in our life is, we say and do everything in our life to get what we want. Like, so even I have a 5-year-old and 8-year-old. Even when I am talking to my kids to get them to brush their teeth, it's a script to get what I want. And so when I'm talking, when someone says to me, I'm just looking, because that's what I'm always going to hear most of the time. Great. I love window shopping. What are you looking for? Right? Like it's all about how you phrase it. Oh, well, or hey, with a Facebook lead, how you doing, David? This is Nick with Keller Williams. You clicked on one of our ads for some homes we had for sale on Facebook. I know you probably aren't looking to make a move just yet, but I'm curious, what made you click that house? What did you like about it? So it's all about how you phrase what you're going to say. And that can be a whole other class about scripts and dialogue. But really, a script, when you're trying to make a sale, is not to convince someone to do something. It's just to try to get that outcome, right? Because people don't click on things and submit their info if they're just not interested at all. Sometimes they do it. Most of the time they don't, right? They might not be interested now, but a year from now, they might have a 1-year plan or a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan. That's why it comes down to follow-up. So you might find yourself trying to get someone back on the phone 6, 8, 12, 15, 20 times. And don't give up. Like most agents will be like, oh, I texted them and called and no one, they didn't get back to me. Everybody, think about it. Like everybody has life going on. So that moment, and by the way, this is why it's very important when a lead comes in to be quick, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, you need to make that initial callback or that initial text, because chances are they're still on their phone, right? If you wait longer than that, they're probably not going to be on their phone anymore. And now, not that the opportunity is lost, it's just going to probably take you a little bit longer to get back in touch with them. Well, Nick, how do I possibly follow up with every single lead in less than 2 minutes? That's impossible. It's not impossible because with technology, you can basically automate everything. And when I say automate, I don't mean like robotic, right? Automation is very personal these days. Like you could send out 300 greeting cards and personalize every single one, within 10 minutes. You could send out 1,000 text messages to 1,000 different people and personalize every single one and only write one message. Like all of these things can be personalized with using the person's name and whatever the heck it is. So you don't have to worry about it being robotic. And there are different platforms for this. And I think I have a slide, but it's not expensive. Some of these automated texting services cost, less than $100 a month. And when you get out of real estate, when you start selling real estate, either that $100 a month is going to make you a lot of money, because when the leads start coming in and you start to get like 10, 20 leads a day, this automation with text messages and emails is going to make you money. That $100 is going to turn into a lot of money. I can tell you that in 2019, I stepped out of production last year, but I had two teams in Michigan and in New Jersey, and a lot of our business came from online. And so my two teams in Michigan and New Jersey combined, we did about 35 million in volume and 120 transactions. And I can tell you that, like, if it wasn't for automation, we wouldn't have gotten that point. And, yeah, we used somewhat more expensive tools, but when you're starting out, a $100 investment on an automated text platform will be your lifesaver. So I want to give you an example of just kind of how long it could potentially take to get in touch with somebody, and how a text message or a phone call or an email might not even be the way they respond to you. So here's an example. This was last year, I think, where a buyer came to our website on June 23rd through a Facebook ad. It took us 37 touches, which means we reached out 37 times between June 23rd and November 6th, a mix of emails, phone calls, listing alerts, whatever the heck it was, right? 37 times over the course of those July, August, it was like, what was that, 5 months or something? They didn't reply with a phone call or a text or an email. They replied by requesting to see a home. So sometimes it's not even like a two-way communication. Sometimes it'll just be like an action. Like maybe they will calculate a mortgage on your website, or maybe they'll, ask a question about the home, or maybe they'll request to see the home. So sometimes it's not even a text or a call or an email back. It could be something so simple as requesting to see a house, which is obviously not simple. That's a huge response, right? But a lot of this repetitive follow-up is important because they appreciate it, because so many times they're not used to it. And when you don't give up on them, they know, they realize it. And so if they don't tell you to stop keeping in touch, you continue to reach out, because believe you me, if they want you to stop contacting them, they will make sure you know it, and it will not be with nice words. So from my experience, if they don't tell you to stop contacting them, you continue to contact them. But they're not replying. It doesn't matter. They haven't told you to stop. I just want you to know that is something that a lot of agents fall off, and it's important. Okay, let's talk about another way to keep in touch with with potential clients. This is a big, cool kind of some statistics here from Facebook from last year about the importance of not just having your website, but having a way for people who are on your website to reach you via Facebook Messenger. And there's lots of ways you can add a Facebook Messenger widget to your website. They're very inexpensive. It's probably like $20 a month. And even if you go through Facebook directly to embed a widget, it might even be free. But there are lots of different companies that offer the ability for clients to message you through Facebook and message you through Facebook Messenger on your website. And I can tell you that when somebody opts into our site through one of our Facebook ads, we probably had last year, we would at least talk to 3 or 4 people a day just from them messaging us back and forth through Facebook Messenger, which is great. And so Facebook has found that just from doing different surveys with their members, that 65% of people feel more confident messaging a business through Facebook Messenger than emailing or calling or texting or going on a website. So, and 74% of them expect messaging to enable better customer experiences. So look into Facebook Messenger and the different features that it offers, because a lot of that can be automated too. Like you can ask questions, you can give information, you can send listing alerts through Facebook Messenger. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So guys, start looking into that. And that's one of the things that's going to level you up, because consumers just want information quick. They don't want an on-demand agent. That is one of the misconceptions. Consumers don't want an on-demand agent. They don't want a Pop-Tart agent. They want on-demand information. So the quicker you can get information to the consumer, even if it's automated through a messenger bot, the better. They don't care that it's not a real person sending it. They just want it quick and they want it right now. So everything is being Uberized. So, okay, so this is one of the platforms that I love to use called Agent Legend, and it's very cheap. I think it's probably like it's the automation platform, and it sends out text messages, emails, it even drops voicemail messages, and they have a library of campaigns that you can use and customize, or you can build your own. And they have hundreds of different ones for internet leads, for Facebook leads, for birthdays, for home anniversaries, for whatever the occasion is. You can find a campaign. So agentlegend.com, it's a great service. It's cheap. It's under $200. And the great thing about it is texting, email, voicemail, video, everything can be automated. And you guys are smart. You're going to figure it out. And if you need help, you can obviously reach out, because this is a cool platform. It's super simple. It can be set up within minutes. And this stuff is going to really help you stay consistent and respond quickly. All right, you guys have to understand that while the consumer doesn't want an on-demand agent and they want on-demand information, they still want to look at houses all the time. So the three things that home buyers want is they want to be able to look at houses 24/7. They want to be able to manage their home search on their own time. Home buyers expect, a wide range of information and functionality from their mobile experiences. So if you have a website or an app, make sure that it is mobile responsive. They will bounce from your website within a second if it doesn't look good on their phone. They will also go to lots of different web portals. They are also very influenced by seeing their friends buy homes online when friends post pictures of buying or selling property. They also want a personalized experience. So how can we create a personalized experience for each individual person? Like, how can we do that? Well, I'll tell you what personalized experiences are around you all day long. Facebook is personalized, Instagram, Netflix, Amazon, all that is personalized. And it's all a matter of like how you're clicking, right? Like Facebook shows you what you want to see, or it shows you what it thinks you want to see based on what you're clicking on. Facebook also shows you more of what you want to see based on how slowly or how quickly you're scrolling through the newsfeed. If you're scrolling through your newsfeed and you slow down on like an article, its algorithm will calculate that and think that, oh, this Nick slowed down on this article. Let's show him more of that. So it's not just clicking, it's also how quickly or how slowly you're scrolling. But everybody's Facebook pages look different. Everybody's Amazon, everybody's Netflix. The only thing that is not one-to-one, it's one-to-many, is Realtor.com, Homes.com, and Zillow. All of those websites to look at homes are not customized to the consumer. Everyone sees the exact same thing when they sign on, and it doesn't make it feel personalized. But you guys can make it personalized. Facebook has a really cool technology called dynamic ads for real estate. Again, very simple to implement once you get your websites up and running. I'm not going to teach you how to implement it. You can Google it and it'll give you the instructions. But the cool thing about dynamic ads what does dynamic mean? It means it constantly changes. It's not static. It's not something that they're seeing over and over and over and becomes spammy. So what dynamic ads do it changes the ads every time they see it. So the technology behind it, when someone clicks on an ad of listings that you have for sale and goes to your website and then looks at those listings and looks at other listings, the next time they see an ad from you in their Facebook newsfeed, it will reflect homes similar to the ones that they looked at. When they click again, because these are brand new homes, the next time they do a search on your website, they're going to then see homes that are similar to those. So if they change their criteria from 3 beds to 4 beds or 2 baths to 3 baths, they're now going to start seeing 4 bath, 4-bed and 3-bath homes as opposed to, 3-bed and 2-bath homes. So it keeps people clicking. And you have to understand, like, dynamic ads were not invented for real estate. They were invented for retail. And there's no other inventory in the world that has more, like, the only other, Amazon's the only website that has more inventory than real estate, than the MLS. So every time they see an ad from you, it's different homes. And that keeps them clicking and keeps them coming back. And so Facebook did a study on dynamic ads and found that agents who are using this technology are seeing over 7.5 times the return on their investment. They're seeing 24% lower cost per lead, and they're seeing a 43% lower cost per lead compared to other paid internet search engines like Google and Zillow. And here's a snapshot of the back end of one of my CRMs. You guys can see, like, right here. This snapshot shows that we had 4,332 people revisit our website within 6 months through retargeting. So this is how you guys are going to build a database with people who keep coming back. It's called retargeting. So you guys know when you go to Amazon, you click on some stuff, then you go to Facebook or Instagram, you're going to start seeing ads for that. It's the same technology. It's not new tech. This is very old tech that just got like a facelift. So we were seeing over 700 people a month coming back to our website through retargeting them. And this is what's going to keep people coming back. It's going to build your brand. It's going to build awareness for you. So when they are ready, they already kind of have an image of you or your brand. It's kind of there, like they can recall it very quickly. So it's powerful. I want to jump into this. One of the other very powerful ways you're going to get business, and this is going to be probably even bigger than internet lead generation, is people that you know. Now, you guys are in high school, so chances are your friends aren't buying and selling homes yet, but your friends have parents. So you're going to have to start making different relationships with your friends' parents, right? Like, that's just how it's going to happen. You're going to have to start sending them messages on holidays. Like, automated text messages have done wonders for my business. Like, not just text, but automated emails. So, like, national holidays are the best ways to reach out to friends and family and, whoever else, parents of friends, And the reason is because on national holidays, everybody is around family. And when people are around family, they tend to talk about 3 very important topics. They talk about who got married, who had a baby, and who wants to buy a house or who bought a house. And if on 4th of July you send a text, there's a very good chance that who you sent that text to is around family, and they may have been talking about real estate. I mean, think about it. The 3 highest rated shows on television are about weddings, babies, and buying homes. And it's the 3 biggest conversations that people have when they're around their friends and family. So setting up an automated text campaign through some of these channels that I showed you, Agent Legend in particular, that get deployed on specific times of the year will give you a very high response rate. I want to tell you a text message I sent out that got me that made me $60,000. And get ready, because you're gonna have to write this down. It's a long-winded one. Just kidding, it's not. Hi, David. Happy 4th of July. Are you barbecuing today, or what's on the grill, or blah blah blah? Such a simple question, right? But like, it's also not a real estate question. When you're doing these texts to your database or your friends or your family or your whoever it is, don't ask questions about real estate, right? Obviously, when you get into the business, you're going to have to let people know that you're a real estate agent, because you're going to have to build that recognition. But over time, you're not going to have to do that. They're just going to know. And so when you're texting them or emailing or calling and you're wishing them a happy birthday or a happy 4th of July, you're not going to need to say, hey, this is David and I'm a realtor. You're just going to say, hey, happy 4th of July. What you barbecuing today? And you will find that the conversation with them will almost always turn to real estate, and it will be turned to real estate by them, not by you. Like, and David, you could probably attest to this if you call friends and family. Yeah, like this is how it goes. Hey, David, how's it going? Oh, great. Blah, blah, blah. And then there's a uncomfortable pause, and then your friend or your client on the other line goes, so how's the market? Right? They just say it because they can't think of anything else. But that's okay. Like that's what you want.
But they bring it up. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, they always bring it up. They always bring it up. Every time. So what's coming up? Anything good out there? We've been looking every so often. It always happens every single time. So this text made me $60,000, but it wasn't just the text. It was because there were 6 other holidays before 4th of July that I texted on or called or sent emails. Maybe I sent some handwritten cards. Either way, you're pouring into people all year round, and you'll figure out a cadence that works for you. But it all accumulated on 4th of July, and it was $2 million worth of business. I mean, that's a salary and a half. The average salary of someone in America is $39,000. I made that in one day, like essentially, right, David? So it's like, that's what's so crazy. You'll find that real estate agents really overthink the way they should get business when it's really just saying hello. It's just a relationship. Just talk to people. That's it. If you can talk to people, you're going to be successful. That's really all there is. David, you talk to people better than anybody I know. So
I appreciate you saying that. It's scripting.
I mean, this is a script. I'll tell you why this is a script. I'm not saying happy 4th of July. You're like, I'm not just saying that. Like, you're asking a question. I would actually change this to, what are you barbecuing? Because you want them to give you an answer other than yes or no. So like some of the questions I'll ask are, what's for dessert if it's Thanksgiving? Or, did you get to, I don't know, something that isn't a yes or no, something that's an either or, something that will give you a different answer. What are your resolutions this year if it's the New Year's, something along those lines. But you want to make sure that it's more than just a yes or no. Okay, I'm going to end with this video. And I'm going to end with an example of a really great video that anybody can make on their iPhone and edit it on like iMovie or something. Okay, so Facebook says 83% of video viewers in the U.S. today are watching video on the internet, and that counts as Netflix too. They're watching it on Instagram. They're watching it on Netflix. They're watching it on Facebook. 83% of video viewing is done on the internet or an internet type device, and so that's why it's so important for you guys to start embracing video. So I'm going to show you this video because my friend Ken Posick in Orlando, Florida, last year, he did 73 million in volume. 20 million of it came from YouTube because he's so consistent with video, and his videos are awesome. And they look a lot like this. I'm going to show him. He did this with his iPhone. Now he has a videographer because he's been in the business for a long time. But when he first got into doing video, he just used his iPhone, and he filmed a video a day for an entire year. So he had like 365 something videos on his YouTube channel within a year. And he just filmed whatever. He would go down the street to like the coffee shop and be like, hey, I'm standing in front of, Joe's coffee shop, and it's really delicious. It would even be ridiculous. But the consistency with YouTube is important because it's run by Google, and Google likes when you're consistent. So the more you upload, minimum 3 times a week, the higher on the search algorithm you're gonna find yourself, and then over time it's going to accumulate. And he never really paid for placement; it just happened. So I want to show you this really great video that he made. And this is something that anybody can do, but you have to do it more than once. That's the idea. So check this out.
My name is Ken Posick. I'm a real estate agent and homeowner here in Celebration, Florida. And today I'm going to give you sort of a tour that includes a top 10 list of things that maybe you didn't know about Celebration in this iconic town. So come on, let's take a look. All right, so thing number one about Celebration is that we actually aren't owned and run by Disney. Many people think that because we live here, obviously we might get free annual passes or something like that, but it actually was designed and thought of by Disney, but Disney does not maintain control other than a few things, which we'll talk about in a minute. So number two is that Celebration isn't its own city or town. It's actually a master plan community located within Kissimmee, which is Osceola County. And although we're right next to Disney property, I mean, you can see Disney fireworks at night, we're actually not on Disney property. Fact number three is that Celebration is actually divided up into a lot of different little villages or little communities within Celebration. There's North, South, East, and West Village. There's also Aquila Loop and Artisan Park and Spring Lake. And each one of these little villages has its own vibe and its own home style type. And so depending on where you live is kind of the different homes that you might have. Founded on one of its core tenets of health is Celebration has 26 miles of walking, running, and biking trails, as well as 40 pocket parks and multiple pools and workout facilities spread out throughout the neighborhood. And regardless of where you live here, you can use any one of those pools, unless it's Artisan Park, and that's something that you can drop me a message if you have questions about. One of the things that Celebration does not allow is short-term rentals, meaning you can't rent out your place for a day, a week, a month. It's a minimum of a year, and in some cases, it's 7 months if you get an exception or pay an extra fee. But the thinking behind that is just so that it allows you to have to know who your neighbors are, to keep that sense of community going. And something that's really important as really just a founding tenet of Celebration is that community. So in Celebration, we actually allow people to have an NEV, which is an electronic, basically a bigger golf cart, and they've got special places for you to park throughout the community to make life here a little bit more economical and green. So the town is set up actually really interesting in that it doesn't have just one governing body. There's actually multiple different ones that are set up. There's CROA, Canoa, the Celebration Company, the CCDD, and they all do different things. And so it can get really confusing if you see online, like, the different fees that we have for homeowners association and what covers what. So if you have questions about that, it can be confusing, so make sure you reach out. So let's talk affordability. A lot of people think that Celebration is completely unattainable, which it is one of the more expensive towns in Central Florida. But you can find a condo or a townhouse in the $300,000 range, maybe just under $300,000, all the way up to the estate-size homes, which are going to be in the $2-3 million range, and really everything in between. So if you have questions about that, what you can afford in Celebration, drop me a line. So wrapping up, yes, it's amazing that you can be from your front door all the way to Disney World in less than 15 minutes. That's an incredible thing. But Celebration is just like a town of any other. We have our problems and our successes just like any other. We have our own schools and post office and banks and restaurants, and there's a lot of cool things that can go on in this town, like our Now Snowing event, where people from all over the area come and see the fake snow that comes down here on Main Street. With all that said, the thing that makes Celebration home and the thing that I really love about living here are the people. There's fantastic people from all over the world that own homes here, and it's just a really cool vibe. People focus in on health and education and tech and all the different things that I think are important for our future. So if you're considering purchasing here, I'd love to be your real estate agent of choice. My email is ken@positgroup.com. My phone number is 4.
So, yeah. Hey, David.
Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right now. That's where I do.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna do that right now. Here we go. All right. Oh, and that's my 5-minute warning here for class. So I'm gonna bring you up here right now, and we're gonna do a little Q&A. Okay. One moment here, Mr. Baldwin. Let me take down all of these infographics and whatnot. Let's see. You know what we'll do? We'll go back to here where we've got everything. Okay. And we'll...
That guy in the middle.
Who's this?
Guess the mystery. Mystery guest.
The mystery guest. Okay. All right, my friend. So I actually have a number of questions here. The chat is full. Okay. And so I'm going to just start firing these away at you. The first one is, how long does it take to create a Facebook business ad?
A Facebook what?
How long does it take to create a Facebook business ad?
Oh, once you get the hang of it, it just takes a few minutes.
Okay, cool.
But
the next question is, what are the best ways to follow up?
So yeah, that actually is a loaded question. However, I find that that text messaging is very powerful. Obviously, some phone calls, but mostly texting. Texting is the easiest way for most people, especially if it's the middle of the day. Just respect the fact that they're at work. But you can have. I've set plenty of appointments just through text. People will continue to text you if they're motivated enough.
What is your favorite automated system?
So I have favorites at different levels of cost, right? So you guys should always lead with revenue. And so look at a system like Agent Legend or Shoutboss, SHOUTBOSS, shoutboss.com. Those are all very inexpensive automated follow-up systems that are under $200 and have all the bells and whistles. You can also check out a CRM, a consumer relationship management system called Lion Desk, which is like $30, and it has automated texting, it has video. So you're going to want to look for, things like that. So anything that's less than $200 to get started that helps you follow up quickly and seamlessly is what you should go for. But those are some of my favorites.
With the CRMs that you mentioned, do agents see all of these touches with these automated responses?
Yeah, so I use Follow Up Boss, which is a CRM. It's a little bit pricier, and I don't suggest it for like a new agent because it's just a little pricey, and the starting package doesn't offer what you would need. So look into like Wise Agent or Lion Desk. Those are CRMs that are affordable, because real estate tech, it's ridiculous how much they still charge for this stuff. And there's plenty of low cost options out there that do exactly the same thing. It doesn't look as pretty.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the difference between a Swiss Army knife and a screwdriver. Sometimes you just need a screwdriver. So,
right.
You said, starting out, how should we determine what to pay for and what we should wait for until we make some money? I think lead with revenue, just like you said, right?
Yeah.
And then should we be using?
You're going to want to. First of all, you're going to definitely want a CRM. So, Lion Desk and Wise Agent, those are both under $50 a month, and they have a lot of the bells and whistles. And a lot of them have automation. So look and see what kind of automation they have, because you might not need an Agent Legend platform, because a lot of those have them. You're going to need a website. So something simple like Playster, just the way it sounds, Placester, Playster. Anything on WordPress is very inexpensive. So yeah, and then of course the Facebook ads. You could do all three of those things for under $200 a month, because those are the things you're going to need. You need to generate leads, and you're going to need to nurture them.
Yeah, you don't want those falling through the crack. They said, should we be using EXP platforms or Agent Legend? Use the platforms that work.
Well, what I was going to say was, depending on what brokerage you join, some of them will offer you technology. Like I know EXP offers you technology, Keller Williams offers you technology. I think Remax has some. So if you join a brokerage that has tech, use their tech, because a lot of it's really good.
I have just a couple more questions, and then I got to hop onto another Zoom. You said, and I appreciate, dude, your class was awesome, Nick Baldwin. Your class was awesome.
Thanks.
It was fantastic. Should we ever use Zillow or Realtor.com since they are so expensive and not really cost effective?
What was the question?
Should we use Zillow or Realtor.com because they're so expensive? Do you think that they're cost effective?
No, because you're gonna spend, now that Zillow is actually a brokerage. First of all, they're going through a lot of shady stuff. Like they're not giving the leads that they're guaranteeing. They're jacking up the price. Stay away from it. Lead with revenue. Get some Facebook opportunities. Nurture those people. Build relationships. It's all about relationships. Do open houses. Open houses. Get in front of people, and do it in a safe way.
Okay, last questions. We said, so this is still a mass amount. Yes, all of these programs You can send it out in mass, but you could custom tailor everything by switching out the name and a couple of other things. Do you need a license number on your YouTube video? Yes, in order to not get yourself into trouble with the DRE, you need to go ahead and put your broker number on there. Or your
It depends on, in California, you probably do. In New Jersey, you don't. So
in
just
California,
make sure
you got to do it.
Yeah. So
Well, hey, Nick
in New
Baldwin.
Jersey, in New Jersey, we have to use our birth name. I have to use Nicholas. That's the exception. Like, I don't have to use a license number. I have to use Nicholas. I can't use Nick.
Can you tell everybody where they can find you? And then we'll see you next week for the adult course at broadcast live at 9 a.m. You still good for that?
Yeah, just send me the info again, so I'll put it in my calendar.
You got it. And then tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at nickbaldwin@kw.com. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Nick Baldwin. On Instagram. Yeah, whatever. Facebook, just, I'm the only bald one with glasses and a beard. There's lots of Nick Baldwins, but only one of them looks like this.
So. Only one of them's lucky enough to look like that, Nick Baldwin.
You can text me. I have this text platform. It's not my actual cell phone number, but I can add you to some lists that talk about different technology and can give you pointers every so often. So write this number down. It is 248-870-3007, 248-870-3007. It's an automated system, but the texts come from me, and I can text you back, by the way. So if you want to just kind of be kept in the loop with like cool tech stuff that's happening in real estate, it's not brokerage. It's brokerage agnostic, so don't worry. That's the right word, right? Brokerage agnostic. Or is it brokerage? Yeah. I'm not going to be recruiting you. I'm just going to be giving you information, so don't worry. Cool, man. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Just text me again when everything is, and I'll hop on.
Awesome. Perfect, Nick Baldwin. I appreciate you, my brother. Have a good rest of your Monday.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. All right. Hey, so if you guys are just watching this, if this is your first class, you're never too late to get started here. So feel free to watch all of this good stuff, catch up later. Zoom, I have to hop on another Zoom. We got a little bit of a late start today, but it looks like we got all the questions answered. That was good stuff, right? Okay. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Everybody have a good rest of your Monday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And congrats on passing your test. Bye, guys.